So for Prosper, Toby wanted instrumentation that kind of reminds you of the 70s. To me, that meant funk, some disco. I'm a huge fan of 70s. All of my favorite songs and music are from that era. So I set out to kind of like with that in mind to kind of recreate something like that. But I failed 4 times to be exact. Prosper was made at least 5 or 6 times. 4 of the times were complete misses. Took him to Toby. He was like, no, this not it. Or it doesn't sound 70s enough. It doesn't sound authentic enough. So I had to go back to the drawing board several times. And finally, I just dropped it and I stepped away from it. So a lot of times people want to know, Nell, what software are you using? Nell, what plugins are you using? Or Nell, what hardware are you using? That's cool. Like, I'll tell you, I work out of Logic. I use the stock plugins in Logic. I got a machine, a MIDI keyboard, a Yamaha, but that's not the most important thing. To me, the most important thing is why you're creating what you're creating, the experiences that you're drawing from, what you're thinking when you're creating it. And so with that, when I stepped away, I pulled up the film Velvet Smooth. It's one of my favorite films, starring Joni Hill. It's a female black actress. I also listened to the Jones Sisters. They have a song called Life Goes On. It's one of my favorite songs. Just to kind of get in the groove of what I was looking for. And a producer trick. If you have something that you know you're producing for and you have a visual to it, put the visual up and produce to it with the volume on low. When I was making it, I was looking for it to feel like it belonged to the movie. And that's how I got my authentic feel of Prosper. Yeah, she kicking that vibe. It looks so terrible. I literally did this part of the song to this fight scene. So for Prosper, the first part of the song that I created was the actual introduction. That is almost never the case. I always make the introduction after I do some other parts of the song because it just, by that point, the feel of the song makes sense and you know where you're going, so it's easier to do the intro and the outros. But this time I started there, just kind of trying to start from scratch, trying to just get a clear vision of where I was trying to go. So the first thing I came up with were these violins and these keys around the violins. So in that little section, you probably can't hear it, you can't to the naked ear. I don't know if that's the saying, but there's this little like oohing at the bottom of the keys and kind of the pad, and so I just kind of recreated that with my voice. And so all of that together, you have the introduction. Sounds or instruments that make you feel or think 70s. Organs, guitars, horns, strings. So I kind of gathered all of those sounds in the same key that I was already working with from the introduction and kind of started playing around with some things. And the guitar kind of stuck out and came to me first. Once I had that section, I was money. I knew I was good. That whole section right there kind of embodies the 70s with the instrumentation meets, now the kind of music that we're making. Trumpets, a sax, some organs, a guitar. I didn't pluck the guitar, but I played it on the keyboard, and kind of brought all that together for the core sound of this song. As far as drums or the percussion goes, regular 808, there's another kick in there here and there, but the snare, I made sure that the snare was a natural and real sounding snare. There's nothing on it. There's no delay on it. There's no reverb on it. Just acoustic snare. That was important to me as far as the 70s theme that Toby asked for. Whenever I think of 70s, I think of strings. Strings are a very important part of 70s instrumentation in music. So we added the strings, I added the kick. And you'll also hear like these African drums. African drums is like a part of what we always do anyway, but especially for something that's 70s, back when African Americans were really going back to their roots and trying to figure things out. You heard that all throughout the instrumentation in the 70s. As always, the bridge is my favorite part of the song. This is the part of the song where the energy shifts or changes. I use the intro, so the same instrumentation, my vocals, the keys, the violins, and that little key change in the pad. I put that at the end, put some drums over it, and you have the bridge. So my secret sauce for this song, especially the bridge part, are the toms. The toms are slept on because it's not a kick, but it's not a percussion. People are really into 808s these days, but the toms, like, it's such a powerful instrument, and it definitely enhances and can like change the mood of a segment. And people definitely need to use them more. It's very, very powerful. So that's Prosper. Amazing song. It felt really, really great to be back in the video. That's when Eli made his cameo. I think I nailed the execution as far as 70s, plus the soul, plus our sound. What you think, buddy? Mommy did okay. So that's another Women Produce Wednesdays by Nell.